Noam Pikelny, welcome. Welcome back to eTown.
Thank you. It's great to be back.
I'm so glad you're here. Listen, I want to congratulate you on making a truly solo record. I know that banjo players are often overconfident, but there's very few of them who have made solo records, like truly solo records.
Well, it seemed like it was the right time. This record and the solo show, it's essentially the same set of music I'd be playing if I was the last musician standing on Earth. And it was, partially inspired by the dystopian events of last fall. Of course, I'm referring to the Cubs winning the World Series, that
right.
being a clear signal of the end times. And,
yeah. Things are truly upside down out there in the world.
And people are preparing in their own special ways. Some people are building safe rooms. Some people are stocking up on canned goods. I'm learning how to play solo.
Yeah.
So
you're just ensuring that no matter what, you'll be able to entertain yourself and possibly others if there were any.
Yeah, that would be a bonus.
But given the history of your touring, as your bands seem to get smaller and smaller, it's good. It's good to be prepared. And one of the things that's also great about this is not only do you save money on hotels and other things, but the band can never break up.
That's true.
Or if it did, it would be ugly.
The infighting can be brutal, though.
Yeah. I want to mention that you've made a couple of films. One that sort of celebrates this new release that talks about your epiphany. Mm-hmm. And it's definitely worth seeing. I also want to mention that, as people already know, you're singing. And you're singing on this record. And you made a film in 2011 that was also wrapped around that concept of you singing.
That's true. Yeah, I have some thoroughly dumb videos that are out there. I'm proud of the level that they're at. I have to say, it wasn't a master plan that 5 or 6 years ago, I thought, one day I'm going to make a record where I'm going to play and sing solo, and so I'm going to start lowering expectations right now. I'm going to make
it. Seems well-timed somehow. It's actually amazing. I particularly liked Earl Scruggs' quote where he said, "If Noam's dream is to sing, then he better wake up." That's pretty good.
He nailed it.
Well, I recommend watching both of those movies. They really, you can see them on Funny or Die. Is that where they are?
One of them's on Funny or Die. The other one's on a site called YouTube.
YouTube, yeah. That's coming up, I hear. No, but this really must be an interesting transition to you, having gone from these big band, especially plugged-in bands. You started out really kind of playing with these more of a rock ensemble things, with Leftover Salmon, with John Cowan Band. Mm-hmm. Big, bombastic, plugged-in banjo.
That's true.
Yeah.
My very first hometown show with Leftover Salmon was on Halloween at the Fillmore, and I ended up playing that show in a chicken suit, but. Speaking to the plugged-in nature and the kind of rock and roll aspect of that show, the show had to be paused momentarily during a banjo solo where a mechanical dragon kind of got a little unruly behind the stage and knocked over my entire banjo rig on stage and severed all the cables.
Wow!
And so, I think at that moment I decided to slowly maybe bring it back just a few notches.
Prepare for the apocalypse now.
Yeah.
The dragon eating the chicken slowly. Let me also mention to our audience, as they will soon discover, that on this record you're also playing more than just the banjo. You're playing some other instruments. So have you always been a multi-instrumentalist? Have you always played guitar and plectrum guitar and things like that?
I've mostly been a banjo player first and foremost. I started on the banjo. I fell in love with country electric guitar in high school, and I wanted to learn how to play the Telecaster, and that's always been kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. And I started playing more guitar than banjo. I kind of put the banjo away for a number of years, and when I got to college, everybody played guitar, and so the only way to actually get a spot in a band was to start playing banjo again. And so I came back to the banjo, but it's always been something along the side.
Tell me a little bit. I mentioned earlier that you went to the Old Town School of Folk Music in Chicago. How old were you when you first started going over there?
I started taking lessons there when I was 8 years old. They had an amazing weekly program called Mr. Coffee House every Friday night, and I would take lessons on Fridays, and then we'd stick around and see that show, and there'd be a little jam session in the lobby, and it's a pretty amazing resource for a kid or someone of any age wanting to learn an instrument. And
was there anybody else your age when you were doing that?
There was a handful of people. There was a good scene in Chicago. The first time I ever met the fiddler Casey Dreesen, who's played with Bela Fleck and Tim O'Brien, we met in the lobby of the Old Town School of Folk Music for this jam session before the Mr. Coffee House. And so there was a good scene of young players, and I got connected to a band just across the state line in Indiana, and I was playing with kids my own age. I was a member of the Hoosier Prairie Band. And I had a vest monogrammed with my name on it, and it was pretty special because he got the band leader got such a deal on these embroidered vests that he couldn't resist putting more than our names on it. So my vest actually read like liner notes. It said Noam Pikelny, comma banjo, comma vocals. So
a little reminder. What am I doing here? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's wild. Have you ever had a chance to teach kids, young kids, how to play music, play the banjo?
Yeah, I teach by counterexample. No, I've had really great experiences. Most of the teaching I've done has been out in Colorado at the Rocky Grass Academy, and I love being part of those summer academy programs. I went to one that was in West Virginia when I was a kid, in Elkins, West Virginia, the Augusta Heritage Workshops.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering about the, first of all, hats off to your parents for thinking that would be a thing that you would connect with, taking their 8-year-old son to the Old Town School of Folk Music. I mean, that's a bold step and a little bit of an inconvenience probably for them, right?
Well, I think it was a thrill for my dad because he was a musician when he was in high school and college, and that kind of fell by the wayside when he pursued his dream of being a medical records worker. And and so what? And so he was living vicariously through me. As soon as we started going to the bluegrass festivals and to the concerts, he was enthralled by it and loved it. So
yeah. Well, I love that idea. I know we had a place in Denver called the Denver Folklore Center that was not unlike the Old Town School. It had that opportunity to have performance space and take lessons, and instruments were around, and you could get it, be part of that kind of community. And I don't think those are growing, those kinds of places. They're a little harder to find these days than they used to be, it seems. Although the Old Town School is thriving, right?
They're thriving. Yeah. It would be amazing reality if there was an Old Town School of Folk Music or a Denver Folklore Center in every city.
Yeah.
It would really, I guess it would threaten my job security to have a lot of kids coming up, but I think it would be worth it. I can't imagine what my life would be if it wasn't for the Old Town School of Folk Music. That that singular event of signing up for lessons and renting a banjo that just completely changed it for me.
Do you ever think about what other directions you would have gone in? Had they just decided to drop you off at, say, the ceramic plate painting workshop instead?
I haven't really thought too much about the alternate career. I feel like the act of building a career as a banjo player requires a lot of entrepreneurial skills and kind of marketing skills, and so I've always thought if this hadn't worked out, that I could be selling used cars or something.
That's kind of grim, Noam. That's kind of grim. That's good motivation to keep playing the banjo, no matter who quits your band. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
I've slandered used car salesmen, medical records workers.
Yeah.
Nobody is safe.
Yeah. Just wait till you go looking for a job. Aren't you the guy that made us all feel like idiots? Yeah. Listen, I know that one of the things I've noticed is that this is a lot of work. You're traveling, playing almost every single day. You can't blame anybody for that. That's just you deciding you want to go out and promote your record and work. And it's a lot of responsibility to be a solo act. Are you holding up okay? I know this is fairly early in a pretty long run, but
so far so good.
yeah,
It's when it's working, it's thrilling, and when it's feeling difficult or you're wishing, a bass line underneath what you're playing, it can be a little scary. But I feel like there's the trade-off is you get to showcase, certain aspects of these instruments that just aren't possible in a group setting. The banjo, we're in Boulder, so I think people have a fairly comprehensive idea of what the banjo sounds like. But to the rest of the world, people associate the banjo with car chases, and the banjo can be so warm and it can have so much sustain if it actually has the sonic real estate to kind of take over. And so this began as a pursuit to kind of demonstrate these sounds of the instrument and as a personal challenge to go up all alone.
Well, it's lovely to hear it in your hands, and you really do, make it. You reveal the depth and the variety of what the banjo can do in ways that all of us really hadn't heard before. So it's cool. Glad you're doing it. Noam, glad you're here. Let's get back to more music. Welcome back, if you would, Noam Pikelny.